You're listening to the RE Social Podcast with your hosts, Andrew and Vince from AnVi Invest. For more information, go to AnViInvest.com.
All right, guys. So welcome to another episode of RE Social Podcast. It's going to be the first one in 4K.
Love the 4K.
Yeah, man. So let's do this episode. This is 2025. It's February.
Couple hours in there.
Couple hours. And we could just break down what have we been doing. When did we do the last one? November, right?
It's been a minute. Yeah.
Yeah.
And things are very different for us.
Yeah, it's never the same with us. That's for sure. So the last time we spoke, we were trying to buy another property, I think. We did buy that. It's Hudson. It's in Tennessee. It was vacant for a little bit. Had to eat it, but it looks really good. It's our only 4-bedroom property we do have.
It was vacant for a little longer than is normal out there.
It was vacant for a month.
I think it's because it was the winter.
Sure.
And it was like, low season. But according to our new manager, the demand is way higher than the supply. She was just barking at us about like, hey, you need more properties. We got plenty of tenants. So good problem to have. Yeah. Definitely wanted to do in 2025 at least a couple more deals in the Tennessee market for sure.
Yeah.
Need the cash flow. So we're still tight on cash flow for sure. But, in terms of assets, doing okay. Equity's getting there. But yeah, we are really going into this mode of, if it's not excellent, it's out. And putting our money where our mouth is, spending $100,000 in 60 days. Is that what the number is?
Yeah, actual number. So what Drew's talking about is, so what we decided to do was we, most of our wealth is tied up in real estate, but we do have some stocks and such, right? So we ended up liquidating a lot of those this year. I would say for the property rehab itself, they're looking at 60, 70 grand at least, just for the two. I don't know what's going to happen with the rest.
Right.
But one of them is 3 units in Santa Ana, and we're doing a complete rehab. We'll make a cool post about it. I'll be taking videos. But basically what it is we gutted the kitchen, took out all the walls, and we made an open floor plan with like a waterfall, marble, and it just looks good. I think it's quartz actually, but it's white and it looks really good. And new cabinets, all new paint, all new floors, new vanity, new toilet, new bathroom, everything. We're doing it for quite a good price. Our buddy Juanito is doing it.
He's the best, man. Yeah. He's doing that. I'm excited to see the end of that. That'll be the last of the 3. If you guys are watching this on YouTube in 4K, you're actually seeing the second rehab we did just this year. This is the podcast room.
Oh, yeah.
I've been wanting to really push this. I've got a lot of contacts that I'm eager to get in here that are local. And I'm really excited that we just decided to, pony up the dough, redo this. It looks amazing. I've always kind of complained.
Yeah.
It had this uninviting kind of feel. And now it's like the leather couches, the marble table, high quality everything, which is again reflective of just the direction AnVi's going, make it excellent, make it right. And speaking of, if you guys feel like something's lacking, if the angle's weird, even the sound, I want you guys to comment if that's below this YouTube video or in the Spotify, wherever you're listening to this, reach out. My email is andrew@anviinvestments.com. You can just say, hey, that last episode was weird, clipped out here. Like, we're just trying to make everything excellent and are eager for feedback, which is kind of part of why we decided to go crazy with our rehabs in both Placentia and Santa Ana, which is just getting a lot of feedback about certain things. And just, it wasn't terrible. I'm referring to Placentia now, by the way, guys. So I'm kind of bouncing around. That was our first rehab.
Yeah.
Where we redid the floors, curtains, just a lot of little stuff. The bathroom is, basically new. And it wasn't bad. It was okay.
Well, let's be honest with the people, right?
Yeah.
So we bought this property for $900 2 years ago, and we raised, $250,000 cash, right? All the money we had. And just down payment and closing costs was almost 180, 190, something like that, 200,000, let's say. We only had X amount of dollars, and we had to furnish 2 units. and we used all the money. We did not have any more money to do anything. So we just bought the property. We did all the rehab we could,
Yeah.
and we hold on to it. But what happened was we didn't get the ADR, so just average daily rates, as much as we wanted. We were off by $20.
Yeah.
And when you add it up, or $30,
And the
it becomes-
PITI came in a little higher because
came
of
in.
interest rates.
It went like a 1% higher the last week because I didn't lock the loan. I was like,
Once we closed, I was like, okay, here we go.
So the property brings in about $5,000 every
Yeah.
month for the last 2 years, but it costs us $7,000. So we've lost $50,000 just in holding it.
Yep.
That doesn't include the rehab we did, which was like, I don't know, 30.
Another 20.
No, more than that.
30.
I don't know. Let's just say, I don't know, 25, something like that.
But what are we making back in equity? In excess?
Not a lot on this property, honestly. We bought it for $900,000. I would say you could probably sell it for $1 million, $1,025,000.
Basically breaking even.
We could break even.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason I like this property is, our boy Steve, he owns it, and our boy Kenny,
Mm-hmm.
he's all partners, and of course my sister, the OG, she's in everything, and we all own it together. And Steve and I seem to think it's going to double. It's going to be worth $2 million in the next
5
7
years.
years, 7 years.
Yeah.
I think.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if let's just say we lost $10,000 a year
Mm-hmm.
for the next 10 years. You spend $100,000 on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be up $1 million. Do you want to
Right.
pay $100,000 to make $1 million? I think most people will. We are. This is not our plan. We're not planning to lose more money. So the reason we did the rehab was so that we can increase our ADR by X amount of dollars, so we can get the 2,000.
That's the
wiped off.
game.
Yeah.
Spend the money up front, make it really nice, make it excellent.
We did get some nice booking. The French mom and daughter,
Mm-hmm.
I think they booked it for $6,000 for the month.
So
1 month.
it's already working.
Mhm.
Make it excellent. People will find it and pay. So really my whole thing is I was just tired of losing money and tired of underserving just in anything. And so I was really just like, you know what, let's just get it right. The floors were were nasty, and like kind of the boards were like getting separated. There was, some pest issues. So now we got things on like a regular schedule. Although I think we still have to confirm that with Placentia. We'll talk in our meeting tomorrow about getting all that set up.
Getting Jeff Trump on there?
Well, I'm thinking about getting Orkin. They already got a contract with us on Santa Ana. We'll talk about it tomorrow. But every 2 months we need somebody to come by, do a little quick check. Now, with that said, it's not just like as easy as like, oh, they just come by. Because we're managing it, now communication has to happen to a guest, and we got to have the cleaner go in and do a deep clean.
Hopefully the girls can take care of it.
Yeah, exactly. So got to have that all set up. Definitely want to get that, set in the meetings. But yeah, between the pests and the just overall quality of the home, because when we bought both these homes, Santa Ana and Placentia, man, I did my darndest to just do what I could with the budget we had, and which was not a lot. And so we did it. It was good, but it wasn't great. I would never lie and say it was great. But yeah, so now we're like, all right, let's just see what happens. Let's just trust in the fact that if you build something quality as a service or product, you will be rewarded for it. And so far, with Placentia booking, it's looking great. And this is kind of, where I was coming from was, I think I was maybe probably listening to some podcasts where that was kind of like reiterated. And I was thinking about it in my music school that I have. That's why it became what it became, and why it's kind of technically the number one ranked in the area and blah, blah, blah. And it's because, it was built on me just like kind of overdoing it in, under promising, over delivering, essentially the classic mantra, right? But I was actually doing that. And it's because I really put my heart into it. And now these properties, this podcast room, it looks like heart was put into it. Things were thought through. Money was spent. And we've got a fun plan for that. But the point is I think, and granted, I'm eternally optimistic, which is a good and bad thing about me, but I really do believe that this is the move. And I do not think we'll regret it, especially when you spend money on a kitchen and a bath. They say that's how you sell the home.
No, Santa Ana, I'm not worried. Actually, both the properties, if we sell it, we're going to make all the money back. It's
Right.
It's a guaranteed 1-for-1 for sure.
Right.
But usually you want a 2-for-1 return.
Right. I've even heard 3-to-1 in certain.
Yeah.
But
let's
that's
play
optimistic.
conservative,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. So or the other one I would say is it's not going to sit on the market. When people walk in on Santa Ana, they're like, what?
Yeah. We had listed both of these properties previously, and we were like mad. We're like, what? This place is great. Like, but I get it. Now in hindsight, it's like,
I mean,
it was
interest
good.
rates were like 7.5, 8.
Right.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I definitely don't want to sell. Like, I know what's really happening in the real game, but it's nice to know that if we needed to, these properties are not going to last long.
Yeah.
And we did the fence in 227.
That's right.
So I'm really excited about that. And that's going to be, I think, a big help. It was just so you guys have some context, it was just like this crappy old wood fence, like pieced together. And on the other side is this, I don't know what kind of person lives there, but the grass has always been taller than me. It's like a jungle back there, which I do think is, attractive for pests. And so, yeah, having that fence is, I think, going to be a big help as well. Because if you guys are listening, I do believe in this mantra that I probably stole from a book or somebody, but you're only as strong as your weakest link. And when we were walking it, I was like, it's actually pretty good back here. It's actually pretty good. Is it like, holy cow, like the best place I've ever seen? No, but it was good. And for the money that we had, I thought it would be way better to be spent on the fence. The fence was the worst part of the property by far, even though it was on the outside. So yeah, I think everything's going to be leveling up. It's going to make our team's job easier, therefore our job easier to maintain everything. And the ratings are just going to go up naturally. We're going to maintain Superhost every quarter. We're going to, get that wow factor a little bit more. And what's funny is it was partly inspired by our San Miguel trip. You remember where I stayed, right?
Yeah.
I remember walking into this place. And if I'm being honest, I was always kind of like,
that's what, $100 a night?
I think so. And which was on the higher end for sure, comparatively. But I had kind of really went super cheap on the Mexico City stay previously. Had crappy rug in there. And so it was fine. But yeah, so I was like, all right, I'm going to just spend a couple more bucks and get a good location, get something a little nice. And I remember going in, and I've traveled extensively, and I've always kind of ranked things. This is by far one of the best Airbnbs. No, it's the best Airbnb I've ever stayed in. It was
the one
in San Miguel. Yeah. And why that is, and you guys can learn a lot from this, hopefully, if you're ever thinking about going into the furnished model, which, by the way, it's already really late in the game, but give it a try. It was just no stone was left unturned. Everything from just plenty of coffee and creamer was stocked, to just even the little plants and lights, and you could tell thought was put into it. There was a real decorative.
I was taking a shower in your apartment. I
Yeah.
remember why. Mine was down the street.
Because it was awesome. You see what you rented a closet.
But still, I don't understand this thing.
Dude, I enjoyed the
just hang
shower.
out there,
I
right?
actually enjoyed the showers, which is crazy because of the way she had it all designed and set up. And not to keep, blabbing on about how great it was, but something else that I know I want to start to consider investing in once, cash flow starts to ease up a little bit more is in all the bedding. I think I slept better there than I have anywhere else in years. I'm not even I have a king bed at home. Nice, everything, whatever. But no, this the mattress was just another level. The blankets were this big, cushiony, soft. The pillows, she had to have spent $100 on every pillow. It was crazy. So everything was thought through. All I gotta say, this point is, I'm just okay, if we're not hitting this standard, what are we doing?
Yeah. Do we have nice beds in our Airbnbs?
So I'm smart enough to have done 2 years of hardcore Airbnb research before we even started. I got really obsessive with it. And everyone always said, don't cheap out on the mattress. So we do have good beds. Are they great beds, $3,000 mattresses? No, but they're good. We've actually got plenty of compliments mentioning that. But I will be honest with the people. Very rarely do we get somebody who just said what I said. Oh my God, best sleep of my life. You bet your butt. If I go back to San Miguel, I'm booking the same place for sure. I'm not even going to look anywhere else. And I'm a man of variety. I like to just try different restaurants and different bars. Nope, the place is so great. So long short, that's kind of where my vision is, Vince, is to just really have that wow factor and how that like just impressed them so much that they feel compelled to leave a review. And again, I'm kind of referencing my music school. That's how it started, you guys. Have you thought about investing in real estate and taking advantage of all of those benefits without any of the work? That is something that AnVi Invest not only provides, but has been providing since its inception. With friends and family, we have built an empire and a system of a wealth generating tool that is giving us and our friends and family that leverage in their life to create true wealth. Go to anviinvest.com for more to see if you qualify. And thanks for listening. This guy, Stuart, who if you Google it, he's still the first guy. They have a tag next to his name. Stuart, if you're listening to this, thank you so much, buddy. He was an older gentleman who his actual like career was like rebuilding businesses, like saving businesses. And I had really done some extra work prior. And this is just like a crappy little base. Like I'm in my like apartment, like crappy couch. Like I have like 12 cents to my name, still waiting tables. But I was really going the extra mile and trying to be excellent just because I don't know why. And he saw that and he kind of stopped me in the middle of the lesson. He's like, because I made a custom like thing for him and it kind of married his skill set to what he wanted to do. And he's like, I want to leave you a 5-star Yelp review. I'm just so impressed by like how much you put in. Like I can tell you are working hard to make my journey like great.
Mm-hmm.
And I see it. And I kind of stopped like, oh, thanks, man. I don't think I can afford Yelp though. I don't have anything. He's like, he kind of laughed, like just like knowing like I knew nothing. And he's like, no, it's free. This is back when Yelp was free. It's not free anymore. It's totally free. Like this and that. He walks me through it. Such a great guy. And I got it. And he left the review. I was like, oh, okay. And all of a sudden my phone rang a little bit more. I was like, wait a minute. And so I already had like 20, 30 other students.
So Yelp costs money now?
It does. So there's a minimum now. Yeah.
Oh, I see. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Dude,
For businesses?
So what's that?
For businesses?
Yeah, businesses. Yeah.
Ah.
It used to be free. I'll just give you guys the cliff notes on the glory days.
Mm-hmm.
Yelp was free and it changed my life. And it was free. I didn't pay for marketing until just a few years ago. I never paid for marketing. So that's kind of a cheat code. That's how I was able to scale and make it happen. And, cash flow was fine because it was free marketing. Now, all of a sudden, my phone rings one day. It's Yelp. And no, I think I might have called them because my phone wasn't ringing as much.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, just want to check in. They're like, oh yeah, well now it's a paid subscription, blah, blah, blah. There's these different tiers. You can do this. I'm like, oh, like I knew the party was over. But I started paying for it. And then all of a sudden, yeah, my phone started ringing again. So yeah, Yelp, they played it. They did like the classic thing where it's like, the first hit's for free. It's the drug dealer business model and they get you hooked. And now to this day, of course, I still pay for Yelp. I'm rabbit trailing, guys. I'm sorry. But the point is Yelp changed my life. So you can hate it and love it. And any business owner who's listening to this will like, yeah, I hate Yelp. Everyone hates Yelp. Yes, I get it. But it changed my life if it's used correctly. Couple quick points if you guys are listening, and maybe we should have a Yelp for our stuff, like our coaching and all that. Mm-hmm. Some really quick points. This is going to be like changing your life because I coach business guys all the time on how to use Yelp. First thing is you need to just pimp it out. Like high quality photos. Again, you're only as good as your worst thing, your photo.
Talking about an Airbnb listing?
I don't know if you could do Yelp for Airbnb listing, but for anything. I'm thinking maybe our coaching business because we've already got a couple of great success stories, right? By the way, shout out if you guys want some coaching on how to buy and hold real estate and manage it and do it right. That's what we do. So point is, Yelp changed my life. I started like having people leave me Yelp reviews who were already getting the service, and I was getting flooded. People loved me. I didn't know that. And so here's the key, you guys. Even though someone loves you, you need to prompt them. And this is what Airbnb does automatically on the other end. But you also need to put that in your messaging. Hey, thank you so much. We have this automated, by the way, where, hey, thank you so much for your stay or blah, blah, blah. I hope you enjoyed your 5-star stay. So you're already kind of like, assuming the sale in a way. If there's anything we could have done better, like, please let us know. And I basically am just giving them the reminders to, leave some love. What I'd like to do is to be so excellent that I don't need to. Like, that's the goal, which is insane because it takes a lot of money, a lot more than we have right now in cash for sure. But that is what I'm trying to do, is make it a wow factor to where people are leaving reviews generously without being prompted.
So what's for people listening, what would you say is the lesson that we learned or we're learning with properties that we've been purchasing?
You have to stand out. Of all the advice that we did follow quite well, from choosing high quality mattresses to considering plants and design and whatever, something that we didn't do very well was differentiate ourselves. Niche. Do something a little different. I definitely considered it whenever we were buying properties. It's like, well, I always look myself as if I'm a guest. Like, what if people got? Is there a jacuzzi here? Is there this? Like, I'm looking at amenities. There really wasn't a lot of amenities in any of the areas that we were serving. So we were just another property. We were average. And
I would say now it's definitely 225. I mean, that's definitely above average, right?
Definitely above average.
The front unit, especially.
Definitely above
Back unit's
average.
pretty nice too.
It's great. Yes. So yeah. But we didn't have much choice. We were pretty tight on cash. I guess if I could do anything different, I probably would have been hustling my phones and raising more capital for the deals. So that way we'd have that extra 10, 20, 30K to put into the property to just start it right, cash flow more, better reviews out the gate, and therefore easier cash flow situation later on, even though you kind of spent that money up front. Anyways, it is what it is. But
the funny part is if the interest rates, we locked it for, let's say 5.25 instead of 7.25, we will be breaking even already. Not
give
crazy.
it time.
Just that property.
And that's something that gives me comfort in what we're doing, even though the cash flow is so tight, is that time is on our side. Like, the rates just stay the same. Unless it goes lower, then we have that choice to be like, cool, we're going to refi. And the rents always go up. So guys, if you're in this game, and you're struggling and you're kind of really in the trenches, just keep going. Stay in the game, maintain the property, figure it out, whatever you got to do. Because you'll win in the end. When I first moved to the state, everybody had a rich dad. They all own their own business, they own real estate.
Yeah. That's it, guys. Have anything else on that?
Yeah, I think, let's talk goal. I had some notes here. End of year goal.
Sure. Just for AnVi?
Yeah. What are you thinking? What's your vision?
Guys, we started in 2018, and I was really cracked out. Super cracked out.
Yeah.
But we only bought one in 2018, one in 2019, right?
Yeah.
And then the pandemic hit, and then I went crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I bought, I think, everything I could see, I would buy it. If there's some kind of deal, right?
Vince did not know the word no.
I would eventually end up buying over 30 houses in Bakersfield.
Yeah.
And it was insane. It was just too much. We got rid of it, and, we bought it in Inland Empire and Orange County. But, going forward, though, I'm definitely still cracked out, for sure. But I don't have that kind of, I don't need it anymore. I'm like, who am I trying to prove? I don't care. I will just buy maybe a couple deals every year, $1 million worth, which should be pretty easy for us to do if the deal's right. And, we got a couple more team members, parcel off maybe some equity to them. And then, the team grows and we can kind of relax a little bit more. So that's really my goal. I am turning 40 this year.
Can't wait.
So, I don't want to do all this, be crazy. So I want to buy a couple deals and chill out, maybe go to Europe, hang out, get some hair in Turkey.
Next time you see Vince,
full head of hair.
Full head slash mode.
Let's go.
Yeah. So just kind of slowing things down. I would agree. I would say the goal for me isn't to slow things down per se, but to just, kind of double down on what's working. Mm-hmm. And my goal really, if I'm kind of anchoring this in, kind of the theme and how we've been going so far, is I would actually love to buy 4 properties in the Tennessee market.
Yeah.
Simple. That new builds, if possible. But if not, it's okay. I just like that builder's warranty. But would love to just do that because we're cash flowing. I mean, 4 more properties would be $2,000 of net, income.
I should send you the stuff, but Vicky sent me some properties. One of them is Vicky's mom's.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
That's a little bit of a work,
It's kind of an older property.
Yeah, Vicky's mom, she was super cool. She passed.
I should give her a call tomorrow.
Yeah, she passed. She was 99.5, guys.
Oh, she almost made it.
She would have been 100 at June, but she lived like a champ. She for 99 years she lived by herself, and then she got sick and she died immediately. Like that's how you have to go.
Wow,
you don't want to be sick.
It sounds like that's like ideal.
She had a great life.
You get 100 years and it's like it's over quick.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean,
she went to church every Sunday for 99 years.
What a blessed life, though.
That's crazy.
And then in Tennessee, like, Vince, you got to come out and see the properties. Vince has never seen our Tennessee properties that one time. Yeah. I always forget that because I've seen him a bunch. Yeah. I go like once a year since we've been buying. I just stop by, I check on it, but yeah.
My family, we don't see properties. Jula hasn't seen even one. How many does he have? I don't even know. My sister.
I cannot wait to host them at the house. Yeah. And get them. We can walk through all of them, get them excited. And I think seeing it, excites people. I remember taking our coaching client, Bruce. Shout out Bruce. I know Bruce listens. And it's so funny because I think he'd kind of like, everyone kind of comes into life a little naive. And then you start to realize most people are full of shit. And so when he came to our meetup, I think he heard us and we were very authentic and just real, just like we are now. And maybe too much information sometimes, but I think he kind of believed it, but he really didn't buy in and really wasn't like in awe until he saw our properties. For some reason,
so even Bruce has seen our house. I haven't seen it.
Bruce has seen all of our properties in Tennessee, except for the newer ones, of course. Yeah, he drove out. I couldn't believe it. I thought
crazy, Bruce.
I thought he was full of shit because I'm just so used to bullshitters. He drove out. I was like, "Hey, man, you're all right. Let's do this." We had a great time. I took him out to Broadway, and he's not really a drinker. He just kind of made friends with the bouncers everywhere we went. But the point is we just had a good time. I showed him some live music, showed him all our properties, got some really good conversations. Those kind of like late night when you're out, just you and your boy, kind of you just kind of go a little bit deeper. Really got to know his situation and his story. Unfortunately, realized Bruce wasn't quite ready to start really grabbing real estate. Although my heart goes out to him because he had some medical issues come up and just kind of wiped him out. But he'll get there. He'll build up.
He's got a couple in Orange County.
But the point is to go back to what we were talking about. When he walked into a couple of these properties, he just like, and he comes from a builder's background, construction background. So he's just like, "Well, I love this is cool." And we looked at new properties with Vicky. He met Vicky. I introduced him to our Michael Jordan. It's like, "Hey, here's Michael. If you want Michael, you can have him too. Like he'll play for you, right?" Anyways, hopefully
Michael will call us.
Michael
will
call
us.
What's
up with this?
Yeah. But I just gave him here's the keys of the kingdom. Here's what we're doing. Went above and beyond. Just as like I was saying with the music school stuff. That's how it's done, and that's all I want to do. Even in this podcast, even in everything that I touch, I just want to be excellent at it. Because why not? What else is the point? Like, why underserve?
Yeah.
Like that's not fun for me.
Yeah. So nowadays, when we started, we would be like really, because I really believed in all this real estate because I'm reading a lot. I wanted people to get into it. So I would call all of my like really close friends and they will get annoyed. And they will be like, "Hey man, you don't talk to us." And this is our gang, like core gang, right?
Yeah.
Like you just like calling to get money to buy real estate. Uh-huh. And I wouldn't get it. I'm like, you don't understand. You think
because you got it.
Yeah,
because you understood. You had that light bulb moment.
But they
like,
were
this is how the game's played.
That it's like, I'm just trying to grab money.
Right
now, literally, I was on a call yesterday. There's 4 people. It's $250,000 we have
just ready to go.
It's waiting.
That's
and
awesome.
I'm just like, I'm busy, guys.
That's awesome.
I want to make sure that it's good.
Yeah.
And they're like hitting us up. It's like it's different now.
I love that.
And then the guys who should have pounced, they missed out. Like I'm talking like hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yep.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of missed the train a little bit.
But that's also a learning moment. I wanted to talk was it was also because I was not very polished. I was just like, but I'm still not polished. I mean, I'm talking crazy at work too. But it is. I mean, this is my personality, right? I'm going to do that. But if I was more polished and I could have explained it better,
right,
and not come off more annoying, maybe people would have.
Right.
But end of the day, I'm rich or not. So.
and ultimately, that is a skill set, though. Yeah. I mean, sales is a skill set, and that's something that needs to be developed. No matter how great your product is, like you need to obviously have like a simple step-by-step. Even though our product was great and we actually really guys have an excellent deal. Like passive income doesn't exist. It just doesn't exist except with us. And I'm not saying that to brag or to like over promise. That's actually fact. Think about it. With the exception maybe the beginning, but with the way we partner on the deal, you own the property. And if you want to be like Steve and come out, thank you, by the way, Steve, do some, landscaping and help out with trash haul, like repairs. He's been awesome, but he doesn't have to do any of that. That's not in writing.
He's doing it because he owns it.
Yeah. There's a little pride of ownership. Yeah. And he's local, of course. But the point is we actually have a passive income vehicle. You partner with us. It's like, we just send you money. That's how it happened. It's over. Like you own the deal.
Yeah. Right now the interest rates and everything are pretty high. So there's not a lot of cash flow to distribute.
Right.
But at least, we're taking care of the property. We're spending all the money. I mean, we're talking so much money, guys. We spend a lot of money.
Yeah.
It costs us about $700,000 a year. That's crazy. More than that.
It's a lot.
That's just to break even.
Just to hit zero.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I was telling a buddy of mine what it takes to break even every day. And he kind of lost his mind because that was in 2 days was his whole month.
Yeah, it's crazy. I was this might be something interesting is, for anybody listening is when we partner, right? We don't even partner with people we don't really know, right?
Correct.
Like it's 100% no for us because we're not doing that kind of syndication stuff. We're only doing friends and family still. And I don't really care. I don't have to go and be like Grant Cardone. I don't give a crap about it. We could just buy $1 million here and I'll be happy, right? But yesterday on the call, I was talking to, it's actually a family member of ours, and I was just telling him, like, he was like, "Hey, what's the pros and cons?" And I was saying, the pros of you doing it by yourself. Anybody who's listening, right? It is possible for you to make more money than us, right?
Mm-hmm.
It is possible, of course, right? Because there is no equity split. You own all of the asset, right? Yep. But it's also very possible for you to lose all of your money.
Correct.
It is 100% possible.
And unfortunately, kind of likely. There's a classic.
There's a lot of people who we know who's lost, right? Now, remember, we also lost a lot of money in the beginning. It just happens Drew and I have jobs and we can just funnel money into it and we just stuck to it for a long period of time.
Yeah.
We just didn't lose it because we were able to come out of it. So if you have those means and if you really want to study the game and do it, you want to spend the next 5 to 10 years doing it, I would recommend you do it by yourself.
Agreed.
But if you have, but that's not our avatar of our investors, right? That's not for that. We just coach.
Yeah.
But if you have a job, you're a doctor, you're an engineer, you work at Walmart as a manager, and you saved up $50,000, and that's all you have, you want to invest with, I don't know. You should talk to someone before you parking that somewhere, and then you just like it's gone. Like if the tenant didn't pay rent, you can't afford mortgage. Now you're bankrupt, right? So that's the pros and cons. So with us, you might get a little bit less, but you might get more. But the fact you're leveraging all of our expertise or someone else, that's it.
Yep.
Very simple.
Very simple. So it's a matter of like time, work, like money, like figure out what that is for you. And if you've got the drive, if you're already taking action, if you're already like consuming everything, maybe our podcast, shameless plug, Bigger Pockets. Great. If you're taking action, I actually want to work with you. That's kind of my new like prerequisite. Like if you're not already kind of like nerding out at least and like getting obsessed with it, knowing the language, it's going to be a waste of our time for sure. I already know you're not going to do it. Like there's too much work. There's too many things and life will just bump you off because real estate's not easy, which is why it's so rewarding. Nothing great was ever done easily.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna. We have another client, Bruce. He's also super cool.
Love
We're
Bruce.
so pumped. He's got a MTR furnished, and we coached him into not buying like the other properties where the common trend in real estate is like fix and you flip and you make the money. And I'm not about that life. I'm like, no, give me the premium one. We'll pay the premium.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to rent there, right? But that's something that we like to do. But also, you have your thing with JK where you do the group calls with the boys.
Mhm.
We're working on another program which will let you guys know, where I'm going to be doing wealth reboot with him
Can't
too.
wait.
So you got your stuff.
You're gonna change lives, bro. Like,
Yeah, so everybody in the Wolfpack will have their own group.
I
Like
love that.
Prashant's got remote reboot, I think.
Yeah.
And Vivek's got the financial basic, and then I'm going to come the
Yep.
advanced stuff.
Love.
Then you got the old social game stuff. So
Yep.
I think that those are good stuff to have.
Yeah. Yeah. Jake has got some great clients. So shout out to Bruce if you're listening. Brucey T. Cool.
Yes.
So that's kind of our end of year goals. In terms of, I kind of wanted to end with this. Just again, I'm just always thinking, how can I give more value and over deliver to you guys listening? Since we got Vince in the room, Vince, I just kind of wanted if you could help somebody out who's looking at deals, maybe who's obsessing over bigger pockets material, consuming all of Grant Cardone's, talks, but market updates. What do you think is going to happen with rates? What do you think is going to happen with real estate? Is it going to go up? Is it going to go down? And then in what regions? What are the hot and cold?
Yeah. Before that, I do answer that too. But guys, whatever Andrew just said, if you have a specific question and you don't want to pay for coaching, just respond to this Spotify or whatever, YouTube or whatever you're listening to this on, and just ask the question, and we will answer all of them. It's free. It's got nothing to lose. Or if you say, you're full of crap, guys, I think the best strategy is blah, blah, blah. And then I can be like, cool.
Comment.
Whatever. Say you guys are crap. Everything's wrong. And then we'll debate about it. I don't care. But going back to Drew, you asking, what's the first question? Market update.
Just in general, like just advice for anyone who's thinking about getting into their first or second, third deal.
Yeah.
But they're kind of, concerned. Like there's a lot of movement right now with Trump and Elon kind of really shaking things up. There's some concern. I don't know. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, we should do a next episode on just that.
Yeah, for sure.
Because we did a pre-election one.
Oh, that's right.
I predicted Trump. You predicted Harris.
Yeah.
And now we can talk about the changes and how. I mean, we don't even have to be political. I don't even care if Kamala won. I would be like, this is the plan she has.
Yeah.
Let's get rich.
Yep.
Trump, if a bottle of vinegar won, I'll be like, vinegar has this plan, and this is what we're going to do to get rich, right? That's the plan. But for the we should do this every episode at a little end, so people always update it. If this is the only podcast they're listening to, so they can know all the updates, right?
Yeah.
So here's the update, guys. Right now, we're recording this middle of mid-Feb.
2025.
Come out in a week or two, whatever. 2025. We're looking at the rates just dropping below 7, which is good. We had the CPI, PPI, all that stuff come out. It's a little bit elevated. So the rates are going to stay a little elevated this year. I expect it to be mid 6s, hopefully. We'll be doing great if it's low 6s. That's the anticipation. The Feds might cut rates a couple of times. So,
by when rose-colored glasses, do you think that might be possible?
Or mid 6s?
Mid 6s.
You can already pay points and get mid 6s.
Sure. But
you
the
want
average
free mid 6. That's it's very hard to predict. I would guess let's wait and see a couple more times what the inflation readings are. There's a couple of things, guys, to note. You want to watch is the Fed has 2 goals, right? They only have 2 mandates. They want to have maximum employment, and they want to have 2% inflation. Those are the 2 things. Right now, employment is pretty good. It's only 4%, and employment is actually historically very good.
Very good.
Inflation, however, is low 3s right now. I think it went from 2.8 to 3 or something like that. So they would like that to come down a little bit. Remember, it was 9 2 years ago. So they've done killing. Like they've really killed it, right? So the inflation is lower, which is good for us, for everybody involved. But right now it's still a little elevated. So they're not going to reduce the rates in the next meeting. That's going to be very unlikely because it is a little elevated. And also with the Trump, with the tariffs and all those things could increase the interest rates too, or the inflation. So the interest rate has to balance it.
So you think rates are going to be basically the same for most of the year?
till we can see better readings.
Till you get
If
better
there's
data.
better readings, then
Yeah.
the Feds will adjust and the bond market might adjust. There's a lot more going on rather than because the Feds only control the overnight rate, right? So there's a whole different game. So there's 10-year bond is what that follows the 30-year fixed mortgage.
Mhm.
Can you tell why? Why is it not a 30-year bond?
Because people tend to sell the property in 10 years.
Yeah, people don't keep the property or the note for more than 10
Right.
years. That more reflects that. So that's what moves. So the 10-year bond basically moves based on like various different things. If the world views US and they talk about US and they're looking at the news and they see, oh, we like to print $50 trillion in what are they doing? To build a bridge in the middle of the ocean and it leads to nowhere. People are like, these guys are idiots, and then the currency value will go down. So people will want more yield for their 10-year note they're giving the government, right? So then the price will go up, the price of 10-year bond, because they want more. But if they see Doge coming in and be like, you guys are all fired, we're reducing the federal budget, people are going, wait a minute. It looks like the inflation is going to be under control and this currency seems, so they will park more money for a lower yield. So that's the game they're trying to play. So if they can convince the world that it's going to be a little bit lower, the rates will go down automatically.
So there's a lot more volatility than usual because of all the changes.
There's always volatility, but right now there's a lot more going on because there's always money on the sidelines, right? People are either putting it in bonds or putting it in stocks. So if they think inflation is high and the rates are high, right, to match the inflation, they'll put it in bonds because they're getting guaranteed return, right? But if the inflation starts dropping and the yield goes down, because the people will also want to invest in stocks because the companies like Apple will borrow money for cheaper and they can expand. So you will get a more yield on that money. So that's the game people are always playing. We are doing the third, which is real estate. So it's very interesting when you get into that stuff.
Wow.
All right. It's too much for people.
Yep. You went super nerd mode. Hopefully 2 of you follow. Let's just end with this. How are you going to utilize that knowledge to buy in 2025?
So I just do all of that stuff to understand what's happening. A quick example would be my family is from India. We have assets in India. I've told you this before. We park a lot of cash in India to buy properties. That has doubled over the last decade or two, right? However, it was 40 rupees for $1. It's 90. It's $87 rupees to $1, right? So we're technically not even making any money, right? That has nothing to do with anything else other than the value of US dollar compared to the Indian rupee. There is no other currency which is doing better than the US dollar. It's just, if you invest, when people say, I'm going to go invest, JK's like, I'm going to go invest in Asia. He doesn't understand what's going on with Japanese currency.
Right.
He's just going to buy, and Japanese currency is down by 50%. So if he bought something there, he just lost his money. It's over.
Because most of everybody's tied to the dollar. It's kind of the standard.
If you're not tied to the dollar, we will bomb you.
Yeah.
Then you will be tied to the dollar.
Yeah.
You don't want to go too crazy, with the bombings and stuff, because what happened is that's how they created the BRICS, which is the alliance. They want to go face off the dollar. So you want to be a little bit cool with that. But right now, it is the reserve currency. Most people park their money in dollars. So if you invest outside of the dollars and you want the money to come back to the dollar, you're going to lose value.
So Vince's big final advice is invest in the US if you want better guarantees and certainty.
Don't call me about your bullshit investment in Mexico. I don't
Come
care.
on, let's get a villa in San Miguel, bro.
Out. Have you seen the whatever? What is the currency pesos to the thing? I think it's 20 to 1 now.
20 to 1?
Yeah, I
think it was when we were there as well. Yeah.
That's what it is.
Cool. Speaking of, Vince is fluido en español.
Hablo español, señor.
And with that, thank you guys for listening all the way to the end. If you did listen all the way to the end, that means you probably are so interested that you definitely should reach out to us for coaching or attend our next meetup. We do the second Thursday of every month here in Costa Mesa. Just simply reach out, comment, say hi. At AnVi Invest is the Instagram, and I do check the messages a lot often. So yeah, reach out. Thank you guys for listening.
Peace.
I don't know about you, but I definitely like to see
5-star reviews on any service or any product before I purchase. Please take a second to leave us a 5-star review, whether you're listening to it on Apple, iTunes, or Spotify, or whatever platform. Take a second, goes a long way, helps us a lot to grow the channel, and thanks for listening.